name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm going to show you some really interesting things that Zak Starkey, the former The Who drummer, said about being fired by the band. He gave some details about Roger Daltrey and Pete Townshend, and a couple of really funny and interesting things that happened when they first fired him and then fired him again. And this is what he told the Telegraph. He recalled that everything obviously started at that concert at the Teenage Cancer Trust show at the Royal Albert Hall when they were playing The Song Is Over. And according to him, it wasn't him who got it wrong. This is what he said. What happened was I got it right and Roger got it wrong. That's what he said about that song. And then he also said that Daltrey, that the band hate rehearsing, and that Daltrey took a bit out of the song because it was too long, meaning that on the second night, Roger came in a bar early. So then he said, I got a call from Bill Kurzbishley, the manager, a week, 7 days later, and he says, it's my unfortunate duty to inform you, it's like porridge or something, that you won't be needed from now on. Roger says you dropped some beats. I watched the show and I can't find any drop beats. Then Pete had to go along with it because Pete's had 60 years of arguing with Roger. And then a little bit later, a week later, Townshend called him again and he changed his mind. This is what Zak said. I said, I want my gig back. So he returned, and he returned being forced to admit that he dropped 2 beats, that he was wrong. He was the one who got it wrong. But the reunion obviously was short-lived, and he said, Roger says he can't work with you no more, and we'd like you to issue another statement saying you're leaving to do other projects. And I just didn't do it because I wasn't leaving of my own choice. Why did Daltrey feel he couldn't work with you again? They didn't specify. And he said that Daltrey later told him that you're not fired, you retired because you've got so many other projects. And then he said that doesn't blame anyone. I blame The Who because they're unpredictable, aggressive, and fucking insane. And that's what he said about the band. So he didn't call them insane. But, now their new drummer is Scott Devours. However, in the same interview, he said that he talked recently with Daltrey and that he could even go back to the band at some point. This is what he said about Roger. I spoke to Roger last week and he said, don't take your drums out of the Who's warehouse yet, in case we need you. I said, best let me know. So I mean, what a crazy thing that is happening between Zak Starkey, who is also Ringo Starr's son, and that had the chance to meet Keith Moon. Keith Moon was the good friend of Ringo Starr, and curiously, it was not Ringo who gave Zak his first drum kit. It was Keith who gave him as a gift a drum kit, and he was Uncle Keith for him when he was a kid, and he really loved The Who since he was a kid, and he had the chance to meet him, and he was with The Who for more than 20 years, and it was one of those things, in just one song of one show, things can go wrong, and he was sacked twice, which is unbelievable. But if you want to know more about Scott Devours, for example, who is the new The Who drummer, you can go to description and visit the article we wrote about it. And also you can watch a video that we did about this, okay? Thank you for watching. Forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and I see you later.